Okay, if you did the word problem, which again, on the quiz, for what we have is, there's no word problems on it, just from a time point of view, okay? So we're taking on the Friday. So the answers to these, A, the answer is 251.7, and this is kilometers per hour. The next one, 30 meters, you've got to turn it into kilometers. So this is a big point for the application problems. You have to make sure you recognize, it says the depth is in kilometers. This tells us the depth is in meters. So you have to convert that into kilometers, okay? How many meters in a kilometer? You guys know? 1,000, kilo, 1,000, okay? So you just do 30 divided by 1,000 to get that input, right? And when you do it, you would get here 61.6 kilometers per hour. This last one, why did the speed change so much? Notice that as the depth gets less, the width of the wave gets smaller, condenses, whereas the height of the wave gets taller. So the width, since that's the speed at which it's going, the width is going to approach faster because the wave's getting not quite as wide. Okay? All right, now let's do this graph here. I'm not going to list a table, but I'm going to just show you what the graph looks like. The starting point here, here's the big difference, folks. First time I've actually done one, we talked about this, but we didn't actually do one. When you have the x as negative, it goes in the opposite direction. Okay, it flips it and flips it over the vertical line over in this direction horizontally. And then, so this one, the starting point would be at 4, 1. So listen to the way you do it. That's why it's not the opposite of 4. It's what do you put into the function there to make that part of the function 0? Well, for x, you put in 4. That would give you 0 under the square root. Okay? Now your calculator will show you what the starting point is, but that's a little confusing because you're expecting it to start at -4, not because of the negative. Right, so the starting point here at 4, 1 is right here. And I'm going to make it an open dot because it's an inequality. And then it's going to graph up. I think I get a point at 3, 4. So right there. And I do these as dots, even though technically they should be open dots, just to get a graph. Crosses about 7, and so I get a dotted graph like this. Okay, and the graph then will be below. Now, what is missing from this graph? The vertical boundary, right? That line. You have to, whichever side you shade on, I'm shading below, only there go below with that vertical line. Don't go above because a vertical line would imply that there are actually solutions there, and there aren't. So only on the side that you have the shading. All right, let's do the next one. This is a cubic, so it's going to be, have our shape where it comes up and then goes out. It's a greater than, so you're going to have an open dot. The turning point here is going to be at 6, -3 for our turning point. So 6, -3, I'll put an open dot, though technically it doesn't have to have an open dot because I'm going to be graphing the dotted graph all the way through it. And then I get several other points. Just a quick sketch of this will be dotted. And then I'd like you to give me some values on that with the table on the quiz for your calculator. Now the greater than should imply that's going to be above. If you test a point, if you test 0, 0, it works. So you're going to shade above this one. Oops. Okay. Any questions on those graphs? Okay, let's go to the back side. I'm going to skip this problem for now just for time reasons. If you have questions on it, we could come back and do it. I'm going to give you the answers to these down here. All right, this one, number 5, simplified reduced form is 5x cubed. Okay, anybody need to see that one? You wanna see it? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let's do this one. So we're gonna have the cube root here. I'm gonna separate pieces and put them together. So I'm gonna do the cube root of 5, and I'm gonna bring over the cube root of 25. The numbers I'm gonna bring together. And then the variables I'm gonna put as exponents. That's a step, and that will help us simplify. So this is gonna be, for this one, x to the 4/3. This will be x to the 2/3. This will be x to the 3/3. So because it's all multiplication, you can separate them and do that. Now if they're pluses and minuses, that's a whole different story. So now, these two, this is the cube root of 125 times x to the 4/3 plus 2/3 plus 3/3. I'm gonna just leave it like that. I mean, you could simplify them and you'd have it in the answer as well. This is just equal to 5. This is x to the, 6 9/3, which reduces down to 3. Okay. Any questions on that? All right, multiply this one. The answer to it, I get -6 plus 6 square roots of 2. If you got a negative in the denominator of a -1, just make sure you multiply by -1 over -1, get the negative out of the denominator. Okay, anybody want to see this one? Good? All right. And then
That's the answer for number 7.
oh, I lied. Sorry. Thank you, guys. So this is the answer for number 7. My period 3 is gonna be watching this, and I don't know, should I edit it out for period 3? So, I make mistakes. We get it. This is 39.
Peer stop talking.
Okay. Any questions on either one of these two? Okay. All right, the next one. Okay, this one looks really complicated. Okay, the answer for this one. So I'm gonna write it in the form that I would expect you would write it in. The numbers are gonna be 10 6th roots of 25 times, and you're gonna have m to the, let's see, that's gonna be m to the 2/3 power, I believe. Not 2/3, my mistake, because there's one that comes out. So this is gonna be, so 19 6th power, I believe. And then n to the 32/6, which would be 16/3 power. So I believe this is the answer, 19/6. So in simplified radical form, what that turns out to be is this, but I don't expect you to get it into this form. M cubed n to the 5th, 6th root of what's left is 25 m n squared. Okay. All right. Would you like to see this one? Yeah. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay. This is a pretty complicated problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is break these up. I'm going to do the 3rd root of 40 here. And quite sure what I did with the numbers, because this is the 3rd root of 40. This is the 4th root of 625. Okay, and this turns into a 5. Okay. Yeah, that should be 5 cube roots of 30 of 40 here. So I'm not sure what I did there, but this should be, oh, there's a cube root that comes out because 8 comes out of that. Okay, so just the numbers, this is 5 times the cube root of 8 times the cube root of 5 So this is 5 times 2 times cube root of 5. Okay, so it's 10 cube roots of 5, which is the same thing as the 6th root of 25. Right, so that's the number. Let's do the variables. So this is going to be m to the 5/3, n to the 1/3, m to the 6/4, n to the 20 fourths. All right, let's add exponents. So this one, I'm gonna go ahead and reduce it. Let's go to reduce first. It's gonna make it easier. So this will be 1/3. This is m to the 3/2, n to the 10/2. This is just a 5. And now let's go ahead and add m to the 5/3 plus 3/2 and n to the 1/3 plus 5. So if you look over here, this is why the end of the 5th comes out, and you have a 1n underneath there for it. Okay, so on this, then we're going to have, let's go ahead and add these two. So this is going to be m to the, let's make that 10/6 plus 9/6. This is n to the 1/3 plus 15/3. So I get m to the 19/6 power, n to the 16/3 power. Okay? All right, so that's where those come from. Okay, any questions on that? Right, not so sure about this n squared there. I think that might be just an n. Okay. All right, any other questions on these problems? All right, go ahead and keep working on this if you want to, or you can start working on your video, or not your video, your problems for tonight. Okay?